anyone that has a goal and they're moving towards it, they're successful.
We say, once I'm wealthy, then I'll be happy. Once I'm healthy, then I'll get wealthy. Once I'm healthy, then I'll be happy. Once I'm healthy and wealthy, then I'll be happy, right? We put our happiness off to the side. We push it out.
We have a tendency to act like everybody around us. The real answer is get to know yourself a little bit.
I didn't get good at MLM because I studied MLM. I got good at MLM because I studied me. The more I learned about myself, the better I got at MLM. The rank doesn't make you happy. The paycheck doesn't make you happy. All this falseness of our society says, once you have this, then you'll be happy, and without this, you must be miserable. It's a false chase. You can't sustain wealth or health unless you're happy now. It's our job to be that light for other people, to enlighten them, to plant seeds of awareness so that they can expand into their best self as well.
I believe we should start and build images in our mind of what we'd like to do and then set out and do it. If I can build an image of something in my mind, I'm quite capable of building a physical replica of it in my world. So if I build an image of me as a happy, relaxed person, I can live like that.
As long as you continue to grow and you do better than you did yesterday, you're going to eventually get to where you're destined to be.
Good morning, my daily choice. You guys got to see my favorite mentor in that video. He was supposed to be here today, but he's stuck in Canada with Sonia and Barb Miller. So I brought his book, I brought his wisdom, I brought his lessons, I brought his spirit. And I also brought some things that he allowed me to put under your chair, which we'll get to in a little bit. You guys, I'm going to teach today. This isn't a speech. I don't have speech words written. I don't have lines memorized. I'm not an actress. But I'm just going to teach you what I know, because that's all I can do. I didn't start out successful. My parents right here will tell you that's the truth. We didn't start out with a silver spoon in our mouth. We didn't start out in the right neighborhood. We didn't start out with the right friends. We didn't have rich people in our family, and if we did, they didn't talk to us. I get that now. I get it now. I know why. I'm going to tell you why in a second. In fact, my early life, I started as kind of a hot mess express. For sure. You know, I had a chip on my shoulder. Parents divorced. And so I spent a lot of my time being angry at my circumstances. I spent a lot of time with a chip on my shoulder. You know, I thought successful people have successful circumstances. But after I tried everything in my power to change my circumstances, I realized it had nothing to do with that at all. It had to do with what was in my mind. That's what it was. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how to change our stinking thinking. All right, you guys? So it starts with belief. Now, every major religion in the world talks about this, so it must be important, right? And I'm not going to take you to church today. That's tomorrow. But here's the issue with it. And there's a lot of valuable lessons that we learn from the philosophers and, you know, religious leaders all over the world. But here's the problem with it, right? We think that belief is based on what we see, right? That's why you guys are here today. You came to an event, you saw people succeeding, you saw the company successful, You saw the products, you got to experience them. And so now because you've seen it, you can believe it. Is that right? We watch the news. You guys are like, I don't watch the news. Yes, you do. You watch Facebook. That's the same thing. Media, social media, it's media. TikTok, okay? Wherever you're subscribing to, you see it and then you believe it, right? Oh, did you hear? They're not letting those kids in school because they ain't got the shot. You see it, so you believe it. So you take actions based on what you've seen, right? You can't tell me otherwise. We depend on social proof. Well, my friends are doing it, so that must be what's true. My friends are going to college, so I got to go to college. Parents are going to college, I'm going to college. Everybody has a job, I'm getting a job, right? We depend on social proof. Proof that it exists. We need proof. We need evidence. We need hard evidence. If it's not here, it's not real, right? But here's the difference, you guys. Successful people see what's not there yet. Yeah, because this didn't used to exist, right? It didn't. We thought about it. We thought about it, and we formed the idea into physical form. That's why it exists. That's why this stage exists. That's why HempWorks exists. That's why cosmecology exists. It was an idea. Now, there's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one's ready for a thing until he believes that he can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope and not a wish. Open-mindedness is essential for belief. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. How many of you guys have read that? Quite a few of you. How many have read it more than once? How many have read it more than twice? Less and less hands. How many have read it 3 times? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 100, 200. Robert Hollis has been around for the last 300 years. He had longer than all of us to read it that many times. Why would you read the same book that many times? That's crazy. Did people call you crazy for reading the same book over and over and over and over? They still do. And who's laughing to the bank? I'll be crazy. That's fine. In fact, my parents thought I was crazy. They probably still do. They're not going to tell me now. But they still think, you guys still think I'm crazy. It's fine. It's fine. Because I think differently. I've always thought differently. You know, I had a level of awareness when I was growing up. I had 2 homes right off the gate, right off the bat. Mom's house, Dad's house. And I said, you're crazy, I'm going this way. I don't want to live like you, and I don't want to live like you, so I'm going to create my own reality. I knew that much, you know? And so that was a blessing to me. I almost feel sorry for kids that are stuck in the same household. They don't get to see anything else. They're like, this is it. This is it. These are the snacks I'm going to have the rest of my life. I don't get to go over here where they got the good snacks. It's true. It's true. They had the good snacks. They got a whole drawer. Ask them. But here's the deal with belief, you guys. Financial success through creative thought. Who knows what else that book is called? Science of Getting Rich. That's right. Who wrote that book? Wallace D. Wattles. This book came out in 1915, before Think and Grow Rich came out. The movie The Secret, the book The Secret, was actually based on that book. And that is the book that Bob gave me. There's something that stood out to me in this book. You know, he gave me 3 chapters I was supposed to read. He gave me this book. He said, this is from my personal library. It smells like it's ancient, and it really is. It's original. Something really stuck out in this book. The whole book is phenomenal. It's short, so I can read the whole thing. But this is what it says about belief. To think according to appearances is easy. Anybody can do that. To think truth regardless of appearances is laborious. and requires the expenditure of more power than any other workman is called upon to perform. To think health when surrounded by the appearance of disease, or to think riches when in the midst of appearances of poverty requires power. But he who acquires this power becomes a mastermind. He can conquer fate, and he can have what he wants. And that's what I've done. And that's what you guys can do. What's that mean? That means you have to have a different vision. You got to have your own vision. I don't care what's happening in the world right now. I don't care what pandemic is happening. I do not care at all. You know why I don't care? Because it doesn't exist in my world. And in my world, I'm creating it. It's true. I'm thinking of a different future. So if you guys are thinking doom and gloom, that's the future you're going to get. If you're going to believe that hype and advertisement, that's what you're going to get. You have to guard your beliefs. But you also have to be open and willing to change them. And that's where people freak themselves out. Because I didn't know belief was a choice. I had no idea. I really didn't. I thought, you're born with them. I was born and raised in the church. I was born with the belief. That's what I thought. It wasn't until my dad, who was a closet atheist, he made me go to church, that he started talking about things in a different way, asking me questions to challenge my beliefs. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys what to believe. That's your business. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm here to tell you that you can change your beliefs about anything. If you think that you're broke, that's what you're going to be. If you think that you're going to be sick, you're going to be sick, right? That's the secret. The secret is man is the sum total of all his thoughts. Our belief system is based on the evaluation of something. If we frequently reevaluate something, our belief about it will change. What do you believe you're going to do in this business? Anybody want to answer that? I hear ranks flying out. All right, what happens? What happens when you get there? All right, you hit 250K. Now what? Okay, you hit master affiliate, no more ranks left. What do you do now? Who said Josh is going to make a new rank? No. That's not the answer I'm looking for. I'm trying to get you guys to think beyond the rank, okay? Think beyond the rank. What do you do with all the money you've made? Help people, charity. We all are full of it. You know damn well you're going to go get a Rolls Royce first. It's true. Save some for the poor, but I'm going to roll up while I drop my suitcase of money off. I'm not wrong. You're right. I did it all. I'm telling you guys, I did it all. I rode that ladder, got all the bags, got the cars, and then after I looked around, I was like, well, that was fun. Who needs to learn how to do that? That's why I'm here. Okay. Now, if you don't believe you're going to succeed in this business, if you think it's only for just a small amount of people, how many of you guys got the objection before? Oh, I looked at your income disclosure sheet, and it looks like only so many people at the top succeed, right? I like Robert Hollis's response to that. I'm the guy at the top, so be the guy at the top. You know, and it's like that in every single industry, is it not? Every single business, the guy at the top makes all the money, right? And it's not on the backs of the people that put them there. I don't want to hear that. That's not true. The guy at the top makes all the money because he provides the most value. And this is fundamental to all success. You're not going to get without giving. This isn't a lottery business. This isn't, I'm going to give it a shot. Now, how do you change your belief? How do you grow belief in yourself? Belief capital. This is how you grow belief. If you decide to go to the gym on Monday and you quit by Friday, you've just lost belief capital in yourself, did you not? You just proved to yourself that you weren't going to do it. But if you continue through Friday and you go for a whole week, your belief capital in yourself has grown because you've given yourself evidence. You have to put evidence in your life. You have to act as if it's already here. You got to train yourself to think of and look upon the world as becoming and growing. You got to look at the world that way, even if you're the only one that looks at it that way. Regard evil as being only that part of the world that's undeveloped. That's all it is. It's undeveloped, you guys. You know why? Because they don't know what I know. They don't know what you know now. If they knew what I knew and what you're going to know, they wouldn't do the things that they're doing. There would be no evil. You guys hear me? There wouldn't be. You want to abolish evil, don't fight it. What did I just say? Allow it? No. Nay, don't focus on it. Because guess what? That model will become obsolete because the majority of people who realize their power will make it so. Always speak in terms of advancement. To do otherwise is to deny your faith, and to deny your faith would be to lose it. Believing the world's ending. Believing somebody's coming to get you. Believing you can't build your business because of current events. Who told themselves the last 2 years they couldn't build their business because of what was going on in the world? You guys used to do events, and now we're not doing events. So I'm going to wait till you guys do events. The truth is, the world's not ending. No one's coming to get you, and you can build your business right now with what you've got. Because guess what? We make our own opportunity. In every crisis, there's opportunity. You know, I had a friend tell me, she's like, I'm about to lose my house. And I said, fantastic, you didn't want to live there anyway. You didn't. You said you wanted to live in a $600,000 house, and here you are in a $150,000 house. I hope you lose your house. You don't belong there. You ask the universe, or God, you ask your higher self, you ask somebody for a better life. You think they're going to let you have your old life as you're stepping into your new life? You got to be willing to let it go. And sometimes it doesn't look like that, right? It's not like, oh, now I'm successful and everything's just showing up. No, it doesn't work like that. You got to go through some shit. And if you think you're not going to go through some shit, I was debating if I was going to say it twice. I said it twice. That's right. Then you have to accept that. It's part of the process. You know why? Because when you came into this business, you brought your baggage with you. All of us become mini psychologists in this business. I tell you what, it is the craziest business in the world. I say, hey, would you like to join my business? Well, I would, but I can't do those kinds of things. I can't sell. I only know 3 people. My mom, my dad, and my sister. That's all I know. I don't know anybody. I can't do sales. Well, you can do sales. You've always been good at sales. I was not always good at sales. It's a skill. You learn it. Practice it. You decide and you learn, right? Fear. Oh, I'm already on this slide. Hey. You guys are ahead of me. Where's my thumb is ahead of me. Fear is an optional mindset. It's optional. Fear is nothing more than a mindset. Do you guys know that? What does mindset even mean anyway? To set your mind. If you don't set your mind, what happens? It's all over the place. And guess what? You're attracting all kinds of craziness because you haven't set your mind. That's the most powerful thing that you have control over that you don't even realize you have control over. Well, I would, but I'm afraid of. I would, but I don't know if. Doubt's a form of fear. That's doubt. Why does it say disrupting to disrupted? Josh said that already. He stole it from me, just so you know. But what are you going to give your energy to? Because this is your real power. And this is what you get to decide. You don't maybe get to decide what happens in the world today, but you get to decide what you're going to put your energy into. The last 2 years, my Facebook feed, I don't know if this was for you guys, but this definitely was me. All I saw was fear and anxiety and unsurety. That's all I saw. I turned it off. I'm like, turn this off. don't want to see this anymore. What are you going to give your energy to? It doesn't matter what side you're on. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I don't care if you love the president or hate him. It doesn't matter. If you hate him, you're giving him as much power as if you loved him. Did you know that? You're still thinking about it. You're still thinking about him. And as long as you're doing that, you're feeding into it. You're putting your energy, you're putting your life force into it. Because if you're putting your energy there, guess where it's not? It's not on your business. It's not on your life goals. It's not on creating something different for yourself. You're sucked in. And if you're sucked in, you've lost your power. It's designed that way on purpose. You have the ability to put your energy into fear and anxiety, or you can put your energy into prosperity, abundance, and opportunity. Yeah. You get to decide. But it takes regular acts of courage. That's how you overcome fear. Regular acts of courage. You got to release yourself from it has to be perfect before I'm going to begin. Just begin. Some of y'all are waiting for Josh to build a perfect company. We're close enough. You guys got enough right now. There's an opportunity right now. I don't care what happens. You know, there's millionaires made in the Great Depression. That's weird. There are millionaires made during COVID. Did you know that? Yeah, while we were sleeping, there's people, masked millionaires. Right. So there's opportunity in every single crisis. Give no anxious thought to possible disasters, obstacles, panics, or unfavorable combinations of circumstances. It takes time enough to meet such things when they present themselves. And you will find that every difficulty carries with it the wherewithal for its overcoming. What did I just say? Everything that you're witnessing in the world today, every obstacle that you face in life and in your business has the wherewithal for its overcoming. Okay, if life's an escape room, who do you think's holding the keys? You guys have the keys. Not only that, you built the prison. You built the prison for yourself. It's in your mind. You're in the prison. You're the jailer. You're the guard with the keys. And you're the jail itself. Now let's talk about this. You've got to guard your speech. How many times are we hearing negativity? It's all around us. Sometimes we say to ourselves. Sometimes I have to catch myself. And if I don't, Josh does. He said, God, you're negative. Get your negative ass away from me. Sure, I do the same thing to him. I'm like, get that, spray some matcha on you. Love's worthy, confident, blah. Matter of fact, all of them. Me staging the house. You better open the windows. And you sage, you guys. If you don't, you saging with the windows closed, demons run around in your house. You didn't sage nothing. You're laughing because you're like, I did that, and there's demons in my house right now, and I'm gonna go home tomorrow. I'm gonna do it the right way. Open the windows. You say, I'm in Michigan, it's too cold. Guard your speech. Never speak of yourself, your affairs, or anything else in a discouraging way. Never admit the possibility of failure. Never admit the possibility of failure. Never admit that. Don't admit that to your team. I don't care how you feel in the morning. Don't put doubt in your team, because guess what? They're going to put doubt in the rest of the world. And then we're no different than everybody else, right? Never admit the possibility of failure or speak in a way that infers failure as a possibility. Never speak of the times as being hard or of business conditions as being doubtful. Times may be hard. Business may be doubtful for those who are on the competitive plane. But they can never be so for you, because you can create what you want and you can become above fear. I didn't say this stuff. I'm reading a teleprompter. This came from Wallace D. Wattles, you guys. I'm not the genius here standing before you. I'm just sharing the word, right? That's it. And so if you're sitting up here thinking, I can never do what she's doing, you can. You can. You have to decide that. That's all it is. Go to YouTube, look me up. Jen Khan, back then, K-A-H-A-N. My videos were terrible. They were really bad, okay? I didn't start out good at this job. I didn't start out like that. I had to learn, I had to practice, right? Never allow yourself to feel disappointed. I'm really just disappointed. I just got this new $50K and she went over to this company over here. Why? Well, that's where she's supposed to be. You see, the thing is, when you raise your vibration, not everybody's going to meet you there. And that's okay. They're where they're supposed to be. Life is all about learning, right? We're all on a different path. Some people are going to work themselves in a different direction, and that's okay. Wish them well on their journey. They may be back after they get to your level, right? So it's okay. And when you're setting your goals, you may expect to have it at a certain time. I'm going to give this business 30 days, and if I'm not rich. I had somebody in my chat this morning, I put my money in CoinZoom, I ain't rich yet. Yes. Really? I said, well, I guess those are your expectations. I don't know. But if you don't have a certain thing at a certain time, you may think, oh, this is failure. It may appear like failure. But if you hold on to your faith, you will find that the failure is only apparent. It only appears that way. Go on anyways. And if you don't receive the thing that you thought you were going to receive at a certain time, just know something else is coming. Something better is coming. That's it. You know, I wanted to be master affiliate 2 years ago. Well, ain't my time. That's okay. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep building value in everybody's lives. I'm going to keep giving. I'm going to keep out giving. Because I know that this is a law. It's a law. Like, it's going to happen. Just as sure as if I drop this on the stage, it's going to fall. Gravity says so. Right. Okay. Now, do not hesitate or waver for fear that when you come to a certain place, you will fail for lack of ability. Keep right on. Because when you come to that place, the ability will be furnished to you. The same source of ability which enabled the untaught Abraham Lincoln to do the greatest work in government ever accomplished by a single man is open to you as well. You have the same source, you have the same access to that power. You may draw upon all the mind there is for wisdom to use in meeting the responsibilities which are laid upon you. What's that mean? That means you don't have to know how. You just have to know that you're going to do it. And the way how will reveal itself to you. Well, that sounds crazy. I told you we were going to go crazy today. I'm just saying. I had to succeed. You guys, I mentioned I had to change. I changed everything in my life. I'm not kidding. I changed husbands. I said, he's the problem. It ain't me. It's not me. It's him. Try that again. Married twice. He's the problem. I had to do it multiple times because I was just to make sure, you know. Make sure. Change husbands, change states, change jobs, change careers. You know, I had to get my insurance licenses 4 different times. I let them expire every time because I really hated it. But I was like, well, I need to make money, so I'll go take the test again. You know, I changed everything around me. I changed my hair, changed my makeup, changed everything. And nothing was changing. Why? Because I wasn't changing me. We've spent so much energy forming alibis and excuses as to why the world is the way it is and why other people are the way they are and why she's doing this to me and why he's doing that to me. And we don't look at ourselves. You got to be the change. I said that yesterday. That's the only thing you can't change. And guess what? If everybody takes their personal responsibility upon themselves to change themselves and the way that you're thinking, everything around you changes. Everything. Now, it is true, I will admit, that existing governments do try to keep the masses in poverty. But this is because the masses do not act and think in a certain way. If the masses begin to move forward as suggested, then neither governments nor industrial systems can check them. All systems must be modified towards this movement. What's that mean? You want the world to change? It starts with you. You want your business to change? It starts with you. You want your downline to change? It starts with you. Why is my team not growing? I read Think and Grow Rich twice. They're going to do as you do, not as you say. And if you start studying this material, it's not enough to study it. You got to put it into use. You have to use it, right? If the people have the advancing mind, have the faith that they become rich, and can move forward with the fixed purpose to become rich, nothing can possibly keep them in poverty. Nothing. Not the government, not anything. Nothing can keep you in poverty but yourself. And so I don't care about what the income disclosure statement says. I don't care how Robert is making money, Aaron's making money, and they're not. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because you have the same opportunity. You're in the same room, you're in the same business, you have the same abilities, and if you don't, you'll learn them on the way. You will. You gotta have faith. All right, let's move along. Let's talk about awareness and awakening. That's the theme of this today. You don't have to be super aware, but you gotta have the ability to take a good hard look at yourself. You gotta ask yourself tough questions, okay? And this is the greatest of them all, if you had the courage to see yourself as you really are, you guys would find out what's wrong with you. That hurt a little bit, I know. I'm sorry, I had to say it. You would find out. If you really looked at yourself, you would find out. There's a page in Think and Grow Rich in the fear chapter, 6 Ghosts of Fear. There's introspective questions to ask yourself so that you can learn more about yourself. But let's talk about awakening and awareness real quick, you guys. Everything you're seeking is seeking you in return. This leads us into vibration and frequency and all that fun stuff. That sounds crazy too, but we're going to talk about physics. It's not philosophy, okay? Everything that you're seeking is seeking you in return. And everything you want is already yours. It's simply just having more awareness that it's already here. Well, we've always had the technology to push this button to change slides. We've always had that. It's always been here. We just didn't know we had the ability to do that. We've always had the ability to fly man to the moon. We just didn't know that we could do that. We've always had the ability to call people with cell phones. And you're like, no, back then it was a landline. No, we didn't know that we could do that, right? So you already have the ability to hit the top rank of the company. You just don't know that you have the ability. You gotta have full acceptance of that. You gotta trust that. It's already here. The version of you, I was watching, I don't know what I was watching. Joe Dispenza, you guys ever seen his stuff before? Talking about different realities. There's like all kinds of different realities all at the same time, and they're all different versions of yourself. They're all different versions of yourself right now. Imagine 22 different yous right now. Now, which one are you gonna step into? This one or this one? This one's gonna lead you backwards, and this one's gonna lead you forward. Super affiliate Alicia Pazina already exists. She's stepping into that. Hi, Alicia's team. You got to step into that reality. You got to start becoming the next version of yourself. You have to disidentify with who you are now. You got to release that so that you can be the next version of yourself. Start identifying with the next version of yourself. What does it look like? How are you dressed? How do you act? What do you look like? What are the words you're speaking? What are you manifesting? What does your belief in yourself look like, right? Everything you want is already yours. It's already yours. You just have to have the awareness that it's yours. Let's skip on. Paradigms. I learned this from Bob. Paradigms is nothing more than your behavioral routine, what you do on a daily basis, okay? Now, when I get ready in the morning, I put my contacts in, and when I put my contacts in, the right one goes on before the left one. I don't know why I have to do it that way, but I have to do it that way. You guys do the same things every single morning. We don't even think about it, right? You just do it, right? I'm not really even thinking about walking. I don't have to anymore. It's a subconscious program I've already learned. I've already taken it in. I don't have to think about it anymore. So the way the subconscious mind works is it's programmed from birth to 7 years old. Not by you, by your parents, by your caretakers, by your school, by whoever's around you. You may think, oh, we're fighting in front of our child. They may not hear me. Now they're hearing you. Everything's going straight in because their thinking mind hasn't been activated yet. What do you think happens when you're watching TV? Your thinking mind's not activated. All those images and everything's going into your subconscious mind. Why do you think when you're watching a show, commercials come on, bam, right in the most suspenseful part of the show, right? You're watching something and then bam, there's a black car. You know, and then sooner or later, then you end up at a car dealership and you wonder how you got there. We just programmed you, that's all. TV programming. So how do we change these daily routines? Well, you got to start small, right? Just change 2 things, and then just change 3, change 4. I'm sure Aaron and Kathy didn't just wake up like super Ritz one day, right? They had to start with 5 reps, and then 10, and then 20, and then they're like, I'm bored with that. I'm going to do jujitsu, and then maybe I'll do some Krav Maga after that, right? Like they started someplace, right? And maybe when I had to change my diet, gluten-free, like I went home and I was like, gee, oh my, like this is everything in my house. Like I had to just throw it all out, you know? It was a process. To change your internal programming, you have to start changing your habits on a daily basis. It's our habits that keep us back. Now, just because your parents programmed you or whoever programmed you, doesn't mean that you can't reprogram yourself. You can program. Laura, you were looking at me. You can reprogram yourself. The paradigm is part of the conditioning of the mind. Our conditioning, thought patterns. And then repetition is the secret. So that's why I read the same book every single day. It's why I read all the books that Bob has given me or told me to read, because he was nothing. He didn't even finish school, right? And he became something. I was nothing, and I became something. How do we do that? I started changing my daily habits. You got to stay in charge of you, though. Don't let the outside world control you. You got to stay in control. My paradigm was that money was hard to get, right? You got to work for it. You got to go to school. You got to get a good job. You got to get good grades. And people are stuck because they don't know where they are. They don't know where they are. They don't know where they're going. GPS. You ever put in your address in GPS? You ever try to go someplace without telling it where you are first? Does it do anything? Imagine you fly off of a plane, right? They land right in the middle of the Sahara Desert. You don't know where you are, and you're trying to get home. But you don't know where you are. How are you going to get home? Which direction do you go in? You don't know. You have to know where you are right now. So that's awareness, right? You got to know where you are. And you have to start walking towards your goal. Now, we create our own economy. Unlike the animal kingdom, we get to create our own reality. But we have to address what's going on in our minds in order to do that. You know, when you're flying a plane, it starts going off course, planes autocorrect to get right back on course. That's what your subconscious mind does, which is why it's so difficult to change sometimes. Right? It's going back on course. It said, no, you're negative. Remember, be negative. All you know is negative. Go back, negative. You're like, God, it feels so weird to be positive. Yeah, it does at first. You just practice. Keep doing it. Repetition. Change your paradigms, and you're going to change your results. Now, logic stops most people. Like, this is crazy. This don't make sense. I ain't doing this. I ain't believing it. And people think, oh, you're successful because you're lucky, which is interesting. You know, Voltaire said that we invented that word to express known effects of unknown causes. That's all it is. It's not luck. We just haven't described it right. Now, do you guys believe this? That we are the product of the books we read and the people that we hang out with? And we have control over that, right? You get to choose what you're putting in your mind, and you get to choose who you're surrounding yourself with. So these are changes that we can make today. Before you can do something, you must first be it. So what I did was this. I started reprogramming myself, daily affirmations. So grateful now that money flows to me easily and effortlessly. I'm so grateful now that I have the $1 million idea. I'm so grateful now that my business has completely exploded and it's a joy to build every day. I'm so grateful now that I have found my passion and my purpose and that my goals are clearly defined. I'm so grateful now that. Talk about goals. What do you really want? Most people don't know what they want. They have no idea. You guys told me your goals and it was a rank, but what happens after that rank? That's what I want to challenge you to think about today. Because what happens when you're sitting on your pile of money? What are you doing with it? And why you need to know that is essential because that's the picture that you're holding in your mind. And if it's just a rank, now there's nothing wrong with going for ranks, but you need to have the picture of what your life looks like when you are that rank, right? Because that's the secret. Is to hold the image in your mind until it's here. My friend, the one that's losing her house, that I'm congratulating, yeah, she's like, you are crazy, right? No, she's like, you're right. That's a great perspective. She's like, I want to buy a house, but the bank only said I can have $200,000. Well, how much is the house you want? $600,000. She's like, so what do I do? I was like, why are you letting the bank tell you how much money you can have? I was like, pay cash for it. She's like, oh, okay. Okay, Jenna. Yeah, I'm just where's the money coming from? I was like, what do you need money for? You haven't decided what you're doing yet. You haven't decided you're going to buy that house. When you decide you're going to buy that house, the money will show up. It always does. It is the interesting thing about goals, you guys, is we have goals that we know we can do, right? For this morning, I wanted a cup of tea. I wanted green tea this morning before I got on stage. That was a goal. So I told some people, because I didn't know where tea was, and I said, I know I can get a cup of tea. I know I can. That's a goal I can do, right? And I had to physically walk to the tea machine to do it myself, and that's how I manifested my tea, right? Sometimes you got to do it yourself. We ain't waiting for anybody else to do it for you. You say, I'm going to manifest $1 million, and it's just going to show up tomorrow. No, you have to go to work for it. So there's goals that you know you can do, and then there's goals that you think you can do. What's the difference? Knowing and thinking? Belief? Consistency? Action? I know I can ride a bike, right? But I don't know if I can make $1 million. Well, it's the same thing. You think the universe don't care, right? We decide if it's big or not. We decide that in ourselves. We don't make things what they are. We decide if they're going to be positive or negative in our life. Everything is just what it is. We decide. There's two sides to look at everything, right? Good side, bad side. Something bad happens. Are you sure? Because there's a silver lining in every single thing that happens. I've trained myself to look at the positive aspects of everything around me. I refuse to entertain anything that's not what I want. That's it. People shape their lives around how much money they have. I say shape your money around how much life you want to have. You'll attract everything that you require once you decide. And the best way I can explain this, you guys, you ever had a $5 an hour job before? Who's old enough for that, right? It's like $7 now, I don't know. Okay, that's how I started, $4.75. Okay, and when you got in that job, you worked there for a while and you said, this ain't enough. This is not enough. You decided that was not enough. You demanded more of yourself. So everywhere that you are, or wherever you are right now, is because you've settled to be there. What's the difference between $4 an hour and $4,000 an hour? Your level of acceptance for it. It's the truth. You got your bachelor's degree, why not get your master's degree? Well, it's just a level of settlement. That's all it is. Now, there's a secret in the Think and Grow Rich. There's a secret. If you find it, you can have anything you want. The secret is that your thoughts control everything. You're the master of your destiny. And you can influence, direct, and control your environment. You can make your life what you want it to be. But you got to understand that you can. You know what's interesting is some people crush it and they don't know how they've done it. You see top leaders up here. Well, I just got lucky. Yeah. I did one Facebook Live. Bam. They don't know how to do it. We call that an unconscious competent. Josh hit the top rank of his company when he was 19 years old. You think he knew how he did that? He's going to say, hey, I worked real hard. Or as my first sergeant used to say in the military, you just got to try real hard and give a shit. That's not how it works. They possess the magic, but they don't know what it is. And how can you give it to somebody else if you don't understand it? You've got to understand it. You can't teach it. You may be the rock star in your group, but how are you going to teach it if you don't understand it? You possess it, you don't know why. I became obsessed with trying to figure that out, trying to figure out my own self, right? I wanted to know what it was that led me to success. And what I found was everything in those books had the answers. When you got a goal, you guys, you got to become obsessed with it. Some people say, well, I want it, but not that bad. That's not your goal. That ain't your goal, because you have to become obsessed with your goal. Like nothing else matters. Have you guys ever been in love before? And like when you first start dating, like, you're like, we're still in love. Okay, good. You know, in the beginning of that relationship, and you're like, I just got to see you again, right? Josh comes in the bathroom in the morning. I'm trying to get ready. I'm like, what do you want? 7 years ago, I was like, oh, hi. It's just a little different now, right? When you're in love, though, you're like, when can I see you again, you know? You got to be in love with your goal. You got to be obsessed with it. And that's the secret, right? And you got to stop caring what people think of you. I clearly don't care what people think of me. Clearly. And opinions are the cheapest commodities on earth. Everyone has a flock of opinions ready to go. They do. Opinions are like, oh, you guys know what I was going to say. All right. But here's the problem. If you're influenced by opinions when you reach decisions, you will not succeed in any undertaking. You need the willpower. What's it take to fly man to the moon? The will to do it. And you must act. You must act. You must take action as if it's here, as if it cannot fail. If you order something on Amazon tomorrow, I mean, I hope you don't, but if you do, I hope it's my book. You know it's going to show up, right? You know, you're not constantly checking and tracking. Where's their book? Where is my Halloween decorations? It's past Halloween. You're not constantly checking everything, right? You know it's coming. You can trust that. Well, if you can trust that, you can trust whatever else you want in your life. But you got to start with the tools you have right now. You got to start with the opportunity that you have right now. And you got to make a decision that you're going to master your craft. You're going to become a professional. You're going to become a professional in this industry. Now, you're not going to start there on your first day. You're not going to be a pro. You're not. You're going to mess up. You're going to make a fool of yourself. You're going to make mistakes. I still do. But you guys, before success comes to any man's life, he is sure to meet with much temporary defeat and perhaps some failure. But when defeat overtakes a man, the easiest and most logical thing to do is quit. That's exactly what the majority of people do. They run into one obstacle and they quit. Too hard, I can't do it. But more than 500 of the most successful men in this country have ever known told the author their greatest success came just one step beyond the point at which defeat had overtaken them. I got to the point where I didn't even want success anymore. It hurt too bad. I kept trying, and I kept trying, and then I kept trying. And I said, you know what? If I get successful, great. But if I don't, I'm okay too. And it was just beyond that point that it finally happened. All right, you guys. Now, you guys have the coins? Did you find them? All right, they got a G on one side and there's an E on the other side, right? Okay, G stands for goal. We figured that part out. Maybe not, but now you know. Now, I want you to keep this coin in your pocket, okay? Put it in your pocket. And every time you fill it in your pocket, I want you to take a look at this coin. And one side is a G. I want you to focus on your goals. Now, what's the other side? Is the E. E stands for environment. So you're either going to be controlled by your goal, your obsession of your goal, or you're going to be controlled by your environment. You get to choose. You decide. So you get to make that decision every day. Now, Viktor Frankl said something interesting. He's a Holocaust survivor. He said, before you make any decision in life, before you react or respond to anything, there's a space. And sometimes it's just a millisecond. You know, somebody peed in your Cheerios. You got, just a second to respond. What are you going to do, right? Am I going to react and be mad, or am I going to respond to it? If you react, you lose control. And if you're constantly reacting to everything in your life, you're out of control. Now, if you're responding, you're in control. You got to stop letting things piss you off. I'm serious, because you're not in control. You have to be in control. Now, when you're going for your goals, you got to be relaxed. When you look at this, be relaxed when you look at your goals. Now, there's 2 cards on your seat as well, okay? One has a quote on it from Wallace D. Wattles. And if we can skip a few slides to that quote at the end there, actually, somebody read that for me.
Those who practice this will get rich. Riches will be in proportion to the depthness of their vision, the fixity of their purpose,
And
steadiness of their faith, and the depth of their gratitude.
let me read it up here for live stream. Sorry, guys, you didn't get this on live stream. Guess you got to come to an event. Expensive this was. Those who practice this will get rich. Riches will be in proportion to the definiteness of their vision, the fixity of their purpose, the steadiness of their faith, and the depth of their gratitude. Why do you need to be grateful? You got to be grateful because it puts you in harmony with that power. It changes your perspective. When you're feeling negative or feeling some kind of way, you need to be grateful for what you do have. And not just because it sounds like a nice thing to do, but because it changes the energy within your being. Do you understand? It puts you on that higher frequency. Okay? You got to be grateful. You got to know that abundance is reality. The appearance of abundance may not be in your vision right now, but you have to know that that is the reality. This is going to shift your point of attraction. Gratitude shifts your point of attraction. You wonder why all the crazy stuff is happening to you right now? Well, it's because of your point of attraction. You're in control of that. You see, if you have challenges in your life that are dominating your thinking, a shortage of money, a business problem, a relationship problem, you have a tendency to focus on the problem. And by doing that, you add energy to the problem. And then the problem grows. Next time things don't go your way, stop and think about it and shift into gratitude. I know that's a tall order, but if you do it, everything will start to shift in an instant, just like snapping your fingers. When you change the way you look at the problems, your problems will change. And you have the decision. Now, on the blank card, you guys, that's where you're going to write your goal. Just one single goal. Not, I'm going to be fit and tan. I want to have Jenna's dreadlocks. No, just one. All right, just one goal. You're going to put that in your mind. I want you to study this every single day. And when you study this goal, I want you to be relaxed about it. I want you to be calm about it. I want you to say, oh, thank God, it's already here, right? It's coming to me at the right time. Don't look at it and go, oh, I can't do that. Yeah, right. No, when you look at it, change how you feel about it when you look at it. That's going to do it, okay? And if you are becoming overwhelmed with negative thinking, you got to start over, but do it for 30 days, all right? All right. So, you guys, I kind of didn't follow my slides. No, that's the way it goes when I'm up here. But I do thank you guys for sharing this moment with me today. And I just want to say this. This is your time. I don't care what's happening out there. This is your time. Successful people aren't just at the right place at the right time, you guys. They're aware that they're at the right place at the right time. You got to be aware that you're at the right place at the right time. That's now. This is your awakening. I'll see you guys at Mastermind.